Well, guys, give me one more second. I'm still working on some stuff. I'm going to play my intro here, and we are going to get going just 1 second. Where the hell?
I need a username. And I have a great one. Little Kid Lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him.
Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb that building.
Day 66, being a girl, and today I'm in nature. Trees, I love them. Water, lakes, I love them. Heels, they're my hiking heels. I love them.
Shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap.
Everybody is going to get to know each other in the pot. I'm serious about this stuff.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me.
How dare you?
And your favorite dish?
My favorite dish? I like mugs because they're very comfortable in your hand and they hold hot things.
Describe your perfect date.
I'd have to say April 25th.
If I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and Toby, I would shoot Toby twice. Okay,
You were
all
being
right.
really funny, and then you went too far.
It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with.
To keep alive the truth and honor of the Holocaust, horror of the Holocaust.
Fuck.
Is it bad advice to say, like, go outside Ted Cruz's house and just shoot in the air?
Yes.
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 Why are you running? Why are you running?
You shout like that, they put you in jail. Right away. No trial, no nothing.
Sexism in gaming.
Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Scroats McGoat says, last night as a member, if Tim doesn't disavow Eliza tonight, get the out, Scroats McGoat. Bye-bye.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Now, bitch. See how you like guns outside your house. Get a fake tactical nuke.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker. I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house. Or in the ring. No, in real life.
I swear to God, that never gets old. Honestly, I don't think that fight's ever going to happen. As bad as we want to see it happen, I don't think it's going to happen. Which is unfortunate, because I think it'd be a very, very fantastic thing to see. Real quick, just letting you guys know, if you're following on this channel on YouTube, or on Rumble, or BitChute, any of those, and you're not following my other page, go on there and follow it, Minimal Effort Podcast, on pretty much everything, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. Hell, I even have like a Truth Social account set up for that. I don't use anything but Twitter, to be honest, but we're on Minds, we're on Truth, we are on Getter. Hell, I had Parler for a long time, and then Parler got nuked, so you can go follow me on there if that's even still a thing. I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know if Parler is still working or not anymore. But we also have memberships. We've got local Subscribestar. We are now set up to take memberships on YouTube on this channel here. So if you're watching this live stream on YouTube, you can join as a member. There are memberships as cheap as $2.99, so I wanted to keep it like very reasonable. So if you wanted to support the stream without having to spend a whole lot of money, $2.99 is pretty easy. It's like less than a cup of coffee. So that's always an option. Now, let's go ahead and get into the first story. I was going to kind of lead off with something a little more lighthearted, but this is something I stumbled upon on Twitter earlier, which... Not going to say I wasn't a little concerned, to be honest, but let's kind of like catch up on Sound of Freedom, and then we'll talk about what I found. So, apparently Sound of Freedom is kicking ass, right? We all know this. It's destroying all the box office numbers. It's way more popular than people planned on it being. Oh, hello. I didn't realize those notifications were going to pop up. Anyways, so now there's this really bad horror film, I guess, Insidious, which I saw in theater. I saw the original in theater, and the entire audience burst out into laughter halfway through. That bad. If I'm remembering, I think it was the right movie. I think it was Insidious. It was based on like Kabbalah or one of those random Jewish mysticism things. Terrible movie, absolutely horrible. So, but you know, horror films tend to do well in theaters even if they suck. And so this movie here had a pretty decent day. It knocked off Indiana Jones, and then apparently Sound of Freedom came back and knocked off Insidious. So that's pretty cool. They're still hanging in there. For a small movie that has very little promotion, that has very little going for it, there's a lot of people who are still trying to make this movie continue to kind of like roll along and you know, give the mainstream media a run for its money, which is great. It's fantastic to see. So that being said, now you got Mission Impossible coming out, so of course this movie is going to start to kind of waver. It's going to start to, you know, wane as far as the actual revenue goes. Things are going to quiet down for Sound of Freedom, no question there. That isn't a problem so much as the way that the media has been reporting on the movie. And of course, there's a lot of, you know, he said, she said about, well, you know, Jim Caviezel's a crazy QAnon supporter and this and that. But it's really funny. Force of Light Entertainment, they have a really cool YouTube channel. They posted this on Twitter a few days ago. Said, wow, on top of spreading blatant lies in the first 3 paragraphs, Variety considers the statement of God's children are not for sale as an in-your-face Christian message. Funny thing is, talking about this Variety article, Variety was probably one of the most, from the review that I read, they were one of the most even-handed, like not too terribly biased reviewers of this movie. They did a decent job not painting it in a negative light, to be honest, from what I saw. I could have missed something here or there in the review, but it wasn't the worst review I've ever read. Unlike things like Forbes, which earlier today put out this article talking about how box office hit Sound of Freedom controversy, including QAnon ties and false claims theaters are sabotaging screenings, explained. Now, a little bit about that. I have seen a lot of people say, yeah, you know, halfway through the movie, we were in the middle of our showing and the sound cut out. People saying how basically there were weird things happening where they got a refund. The movie, just the showing was not sold out, but then I don't know, a lot of weird crap. Okay, so you know, anecdotal, maybe it was nothing. Very likely was nothing. But that starts anytime something fishy happens, and you start to hear, you know, reports from other people that things happened to them too, you're going to start putting 2 and 2 together, and you're going to start going, well, if it wasn't just me, maybe it was this person here, maybe it was a bigger problem than we thought. This is how conspiracies and rumors spread. And in some aspects, it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of times when you compare your circumstances to other people and you start to get that confirmation bias, it could be a negative thing, but on some level, if there's enough people saying the same thing, there's got to be something to it. So we'll kind of go with that premise. I don't know if there's anything to these rumors or not about people having their showings sabotaged for this film. I have no idea. No clue. And there's no real way to know unless you're in the middle of unless you're the one actually cutting the power line to the theater or some crap like that. You're never gonna know. So let's be honest, there's no way to find that out. So this article goes on to say how The Sound of Freedom, a film based on a former government agent's pursuit to rescue child sex trafficking victims, is a hit at the box office and a darling among right-wing audiences. And I'm sorry, I don't understand how this has to be a right-wing, left-wing thing. That's what I don't understand. I mean, I get it. The whole talking about drag queens and groomers and all that kind of stuff has really kind of divided the lines as far as, well, the right says, well, we're concerned about children and safety and decency and morality, which is not a new thing, to be honest. But then why is the response from the left to be like, well, you know, child sex trafficking, that's a right-wing crazy conspiracy. That's insane. Why would that be your response to that? Anyways, that's a whole other tangent. So it goes on to say The Sound of Freedom debuted in theaters July 4th. It's collected more than $41 million, which is really good. It made its money back, and I know that they have the whole pay it forward thing where people are buying tickets for other people. That doesn't matter. It's still making money. You can say how it's making money all you want to. You can claim that it's, you know, it's not really the same thing as a film selling out a whole, you know, showing day after day and week after week. Fine. It's not going to be a blockbuster hit. Nobody believes it's going to be. But people spending money on tickets still equals dollars in somebody's pocket. Money all spends the same way. Okay, so this excuse that, well, you know, everyone's just paying forward their tickets, fine. it's still money in the theater's pocket. It's a stupid argument. I don't understand the point of it, but whatever. Says that it placed third at the box office last weekend behind bigger budget films, Indiana Jones and Insidious: The Red Door. The film stars Caviezel as Tim Ballard, former Homeland Security agent. Yeah. We know all that. But ours was the subject of a Vice... Oh, no, not ours, sorry. Ballard was the founder of Operation Underground Railroad. Yes. But OUR was the subject of a Vice investigation that claims the organization has exaggerated its role in trafficking rescues, with multiple law enforcement agencies saying their work with OUR has been insubstantial. Well, okay, first of all, let's talk about how many illegal children, illegal immigrants, children of migrants that are being processed have gone missing in the last couple of years. I'm not saying the crazy, adrenochrome, vampires and reptile people, conspiracy kind of stuff. All I'm saying is there's a large, hundreds of thousands of children that have gone missing and unaccounted for that have come across these borders and nobody knows where they are. So to say that it's, that law enforcement is going to want to paint a positive picture of the situation, come on. Why would they want to talk about something where they have failed miserably over and over again to safeguard people's children? I mean, it's just, come on. Let's be real a second. If you're the agency responsible for making sure that something doesn't happen, and a private charity or a private organization is doing your work for you, you're not going to want to give them credit. So that's an asinine thing to even say. Who's growling at who? Cats are being bastards back there, apparently. All right, so it says both Ballard and Caviezel have been linked to conspiracy theories. Here we go. Associated with QAnon. Ballard previously suggested support for a debunked viral theory that furniture retailer Wayfair was selling children. Yeah, I looked into that. It was kind of weird. I didn't see any proof, but who knows? And Caviezel has reportedly spoken at multiple QAnon events where he... Where do you go to find a QAnon event exactly? I've never seen somebody advertise for a QAnon event. Granted, I'm in a blue state, but do they outright say this is a QAnon event? Is that like, does the Klan still have Klan meetings where they actually advertise it and people show up? Like, I somehow don't see that being a thing. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe in parts of the South, not over here. They wouldn't live very long if they did that in my state, I don't think. Where he promoted one of the most bizarre Q conspiracies, claiming that child traffickers drain their victims' blood to develop adrenochrome, a chemical theorists believe Hollywood elites inject to stay young. I'm sorry, whether that's true or not, that's like the most likely believable of all these conspiracies. Why would that not be a thing? I mean, how could that... Why does that seem crazy to anybody? That elite globalists would want to, stay young and leech off the poor and the innocents. I'm sorry. There have been, dictators and queens and stuff that bathed in their blood of innocence and children. It's like, whether it's effective or not is a whole nother story. I'm not saying it's effective, but to say it doesn't happen or couldn't happen, I mean, why not? Of course it could happen. I'm not saying it does. Central to the QAnon conspiracy is that a core group of Satan-worshipping global elites run the world. Okay. So far, and I'm not even, on board with all the QAnon stuff, but, the things you're saying don't sound that crazy. So, I mean, that's the thing. There's a million articles like this that just go on and on and on and on, talking about how QAnon this and right-wing conspiracy that. So, basically what it boils down to is most places that have done investigative work or reviews of the movie or have looked into Tim Ballard and his organization, they just want to say, oh no, this issue isn't as bad as they want to make it out to be. There's not as many people, not as many children being trafficked. Trafficking is not as big a deal. Hell, the Department of Homeland Security, was it? I think I saw that today. One of our government agencies downgraded trafficking of children to... Basically, they took it out of the level of being a serious issue or serious threat, which is crazy because, like I said, in the last few years of our borders being overrun with massive amounts of migrants, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, and most of them being children, that have gone missing, undocumented. We don't know where they are. They got on a plane or a bus to go somewhere, and they're not on any list. They're just gone. So it's like to say that this is not an issue, or to downgrade it as no longer being a serious security threat, it's absolutely asinine. It's the most I don't have a word for it. The government is complicit in allowing people who are not documented citizens, who are not legally here, who are possibly a threat to our nation and our security as a country, and allowing them to run free in this country with no documentation, no way of tracking them, no paperwork, no... I mean, hell, most of the people that come here aren't even doctors or lawyers like they want you to believe. And that's a whole other... I get it, that's a whole other topic. But the reality is, painting this entire issue of human trafficking as kind of like just a crazy conspiracy. It's lazy. It's the dumbest, laziest argument you could ever make. It's one thing if you say, okay, yes, it's an issue, but maybe the numbers are being blown out of proportion. Well, we can have that conversation. Let's look at the numbers. But it's another thing to completely dismiss it because of political ideology, which is completely crazy. So here we have another thing. This is what really got my wheels turning today. Saw this from somebody who is a out and out leftist, so you go, okay, you gotta fact check, you gotta look into everything. And I sent this to somebody to have him look into it, and he's like, okay, no, this guy is basically just a agitator, claims to be an active anti-disinfo activist, which, again, what is disinformation? Let's be honest, who knows? The long and the short of it is, well, I'll just read you the quote from this guy, Jim Stewartson, says, meet the Sound of Freedom funder Fabian Marta's girlfriend, Jessica Laurent Clark, who met at a sugar daddy / sugar baby lifestyle event that he produced, advertising a sugar boot camp with no age limit. Quote from her says, got 2 trips to Vegas and a trip to DC from a trip to Walgreens. Basically, I assume alluding to the fact that she went and bought a condom and snagged herself a husband. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're alluding to. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. More recently, Fabian Marta ran her successful campaign for Rockwood County School Board. She credits meeting him at a sugaring event for the fact that she's living the good life. So his grammatical shit here doesn't make sense. Fabian Marta ran her... Unless her husband ran her campaign for county school board, I don't know. So here is the video. I'm going to go ahead and... Got another browser open. I want to unmute this just so you guys can hear it. Yeah, hang on one. Unless I can just unmute this browser. Oh, I know what I'll do. Hang on a second. I got it. All right. Tell me if there's any audio bleed over. I don't want to have that. So what we have here, one sec, what we have here is this woman's... Hang on a second, what am I listening to? Oh crap, we got videos autoplaying. Alright, hang on a second. What a disaster. Where are we at? Save that one for later. Twitter. You gotta cool it, alright? Cool it, Twitter. So, this is the wife or girlfriend. I don't get it. I thought they got married. If you're a sugar daddy, sugar daddy. Okay, yeah, they're not married. So this is the girlfriend of one of the supposed funders of Sound of Freedom. Okay, just keep that in mind. Girlfriend of somebody who funded Sound of Freedom. Not the actual funder, not the studio, not the director, not the writer, not the actor. The girlfriend of somebody who funded the movie.
Ladies, so it's me, Jessica Laurent, St. Louis's one and only sugar lifestyle coach. And
there's captions.
As you know, the second sugar ball is happening on Halloween, and it's a masquerade party, and it's gonna be amazing, and you're not gonna want to miss it. But as you also know, sugaring can be a little scary and a little intimidating and a little unbelievable. But you're talking to the woman who walked into the first sugar ball in February, single, and walked out with the CEO, and 6 months later, happily ever after, living the dream, like literally living the dream.
So obviously what she was referring to is a party where women go looking for rich men, and they make connections, and they get information and names and phone numbers and all that. I don't know why she's facing the camera and not talking to her microphone. It's really frustrating because, like, you can't hear half what she's saying. But we'll just let this continue playing.
So I know that sugar ball can be life changing. I know that sugaring can be life changing. And I want to make sure that you ladies are ready. So I've decided to do a 4-week boot camp, and we're gonna get close and personal. I'm gonna give you strategies, but I'm really more concerned about digging into your authentic essence. Anybody that knows me knows there's something about me. Like, that's just, like, I wanna pull out that sexy signature. I want you to walk in, and I want people to leave knowing you by your signature.
So again, what she's referring to here is coaching women on how to make an impact on how, when they meet a man, to make them more appealing, obviously, to make them desirable, if you will, to attract a sugar daddy.
So that's my main focus. But we're gonna talk about breaking the ice, working a room, gaining clarity on what you want, so that when you're in there and you're having these conversations with men, women, whoever, you are quick to think, okay, that's not really what I want. You can gracefully bow out. Or, if you hear something that's just like, man, that's aligned with what I'm looking for, you can be like, hey, let's exchange numbers. You don't have to time down for the night, but this is like, I think we can go to round 2. So that's the purpose of the boot camp, is really allowing you guys to be comfortable. And the more comfortable you are, I think you'll have more fun. Like, I had a blast. Honestly, I wasn't looking for anything when I went. I just go,
video quality sucks.
Already energetically matched to what I want, so I'm naturally attracted to things. Like, situations just work for me, so that's what I want to give to you guys. But I had a great time, and now I'm in a perpetual state of great times. So with all that being said, tickets are on sale. They're $25, 4 weeks. You will get access to our private Facebook group, where I will post or go live twice a week, Monday and Friday.
Honestly, I mean, this whole thing is just gross, but like, I have a harder time believing that women who are in competition with each other for men are all going to get together and take a boot camp on how to be a successful, like, sugar baby. How you're going to snag some old guys. Like, why would you give other women insight and tips on how to do that anyways? But that's a whole nother tangent you can go off on.
Usually in the evening, Central Standard Time. And then once a week, I will answer questions, either live or the questions that you.
If she's so successful, get some better internet, lady. This video sucks. Like, quality's terrible.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're getting ready. This can be a game changer for you, and even for my people who cannot make it to this sugar ball, or cannot make it to the sugar ball because you're not local or whatever. Maybe consider still joining the boot camp, because these tips and tricks are universal. Regardless of where you are, who you're mingling with, you still need to work on that authentic charm. You still need to have clarity on what you're looking for. You still need to know how to break the ice and stand out in a room. Like, there's always an opportunity for sugaring. Like, always. Walgreens. I got 2 Vegas trips and a trip to DC out of Walgreens. So, you still might want to take the class. Like,
yeah, so this woman connected to the guy who helped fund the movie. And again, I don't even know. Let's check out this guy's name, Fabian Marta. Let's do a quick Google search. I want to find this out for myself. Because honestly, the last thing I'm going to believe is somebody who's out now just like trying to tear down the movie. You got to wonder when somebody is going out of their way. It looks like the results below are changing quickly. That's the funny thing to see. Especially when it comes to something like this that is such a hot button thing, right? First thing that pops up is this guy, Jim Stewartson, that we were watching the video from, that he shared. Let me see here. See if we can find out anything about this guy, Fabian Marta. No, that's not him. This might be him. Hang on. Nope. Yeah, so I cannot confirm if this guy who they say is funding the movie even exists, if that's even his correct name. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Executive producer. Okay, here we go. He might be on something here. Marta Fabian, executive producer for the spot. Screenwriter. Yeah, no, so as much as I don't know for sure about what this guy is talking about her boyfriend, I can't even find an identity for this Fabian Marta guy from what I can see. Let me see, Fabian Marta, Sound of Freedom, and see what pops up. All right, one more time. What about if we just look up Sound of Freedom's credits? Maybe we'll find his name in there somewhere. Okay, let's see. It should be on IMDb, I would assume, right? Let me see if we can find it. There you go. Sound of Freedom, IMDb. Let's see if he pops up in here somewhere in the credits. Produced by. Here we go. That name is not in there. What about, let's look at Angel Studios. Maybe that's another way we can go about it. Because, yeah, clearly he's not going to be in the credits as, like, an actual part of the film crew. Not in there as an investor. I don't know where this guy's getting this information from, but this is the kind of stuff we're seeing about this movie. Alright, let's do this. Let's search for Angel Studios. Hang on. Angel Studios. Fabian Marta. See what comes up. I would love to know where this name came from. Because if he doesn't exist, then how could this guy possibly connect him with this woman? There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing popping up. Let's just go Angel Studios, see if they have a website. Stream free, okay. Studios. Well, that's just Hulu. Oh, it looks like Hulu. Let's see, Angel Studios. Who are they affiliated with? Company. Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna say this is just one more piece of bullshit, because this is the kind of stuff that they've been running with. You know, some story about some woman who hosts a ball, a get-together for women that are looking for a sugar daddy. Supposedly the girlfriend of somebody who's funding Sound of Freedom. I can't find this guy's name in the credits. I can't find his name attached to Angel Studios. I can't find his name attached to anything. But for some reason, this is the kind of stuff on Twitter that doesn't get any notice. There's nothing. There's no proof. Absolutely no proof. And he wants to be like, oh yeah, see, look at this. They're the ones that are talking about trafficking while they themselves are participating in this behavior. It's like, dude, you have nothing. The guy doesn't even exist as far as I can tell. So, it's pathetic. This is just the crap, though, that we're seeing. This is when that movie kind of, came out and you knew that it was going to be successful. No, it wasn't going to be like a Marvel movie, but you knew it was going to have success. This is the kind of crap that just started coming out right away. It's just pitiful. It's like, yeah, it's predictable. You know what's going to happen. That's just the way it goes. All right, well, let's move on to something more fun. Let's go to Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill, a guy who I absolutely couldn't care less about. For me, he's like in the same ballpark as Seth Rogen. the dude that played Olaf on freaking Frozen. What's his name? What is that dude's name? Oh god, I can't remember. Guys like Zach Galifianakis and shit, I just don't care. I couldn't care less. Jonah Hill, I whatever him, you know, it's not my, I just don't care. But, you know, he got in some hot water because apparently he's a misogynist now, which is cool. Because, you know, we're all misogynists. It's kind of the way it goes. So, this has been a couple days ago. Everyone kind of has talked about it already. But what I wanted to cover was more about, like, the right-wing response to it, which has been quite interesting. So, the summary you've got, you know, from TMZ here. Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend posts his alleged text, blasts him as a misogynist. Yeah, we've all seen this part. And it was all about how he literally was like, you know, oh man, talking about how her therapist thinks he sucks. He's literally the best boyfriend. So here's what got him into trouble. And it's telling that they're not married and they're in a, you know, semi-serious relationship and they have a therapist. I'm like, if you have a therapist and you haven't been together more than a couple of years, you know, and you're not married, you've already got problems, first of all. Like, I believe therapy can be helpful, but if you're seeing a therapist and you haven't been together for more than a few years, but I don't know, maybe they were together longer. It could have been 10 years, who knows? Former flame of about a year. They dated for a year and they were already in therapy. Wow. Well, maybe it was just her therapist. Maybe it wasn't couples therapy. Let's give them benefit of the doubt here. Maybe it was just her therapist. All right, so it's plain and simple. This is his text to her. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourselves in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So apparently they already got some trust issues. Okay, so this is a guy talking from a position of, okay, we've already had some issues because of the way that you've behaved or the way that we've behaved together. So these are going to be my boundaries, which I don't think are insanely unreasonable. I do think that there has to be some nuance, some context given to how he's talking about these things. Because obviously it's like, look, it's one thing to say, okay, I was at the beach with my friends and we took a group picture, or I took a selfie at the beach and I happened to be in a bathing suit. I'm not one of those guys who's going to go, oh my god, she's a whore because she took a picture in her bathing suit. You can get into debates about how revealing was it, what was the intent of the photo. That's where the nuance has to come in. There has to be more to it than just don't ever take a picture in a bathing suit at a beach. Well, there's got to be more to it than that, okay? And I'm sure there was. I'm sure that there was got to be a little more context missing. So she's been posting more of the screenshots. And here you go. He was like, nor may I ever want that for my partner. I reserve that right and I'm open about it. Let me know. I will respect you either way, but these are my boundaries of this romantic relationship. I'd love to know before the premiere, so I'm not put in the position of publicly flaunting our love if my boundaries are going to be continued to be disrespected. That would be hurtful and triggering for me. And then he goes on to tell her basically, I'm sick and tired of it, whatever. And so, yeah, it was obviously a relationship that was never going to work. I don't know if people want to say he's insecure or he's just trying to be controlling or whatever. It's like, you know, everybody's going to have a different view of it. Everyone's going to have a different feeling about how he reacted to it. But what I find funny is that she has gone on to release more text messages in an attempt to make him look worse. And yet it's not really having any effect. And so, for example, this one here. He said, screenshotting intimate texts between us is a huge triggering violation for me and a breach of trust as a friend, as I have explained to you about breaches of trust I've had between trusted friends recently that have caused me trauma. I'm incredibly hurt and feel a lack of safety where I have always trusted you. I'm sorry if a former partner moving on is painful and I empathize with that, but I've done nothing wrong, and if I wasn't a public person, I wouldn't face this kind of violation, and having shared that with you and then watching you be like this today shatters my ability to trust anybody even further. I've always shown you kindness and support. And that's kind of one of those, I don't care about celebrities. Like, for me, it's like, whatever, you're all self-entitled pricks. But to be fair, as a human being, it does kind of put him in a situation where in the future, he's going to be like worried that anybody he dates is going to leak his private shit. This is where I believe human beings were never meant to be famous. We were not designed to be that way. We can't mentally handle it. That's why so many people turn into absolute train wrecks once they get famous, because the human psyche is not designed for that. I mean, first and foremost, your primary goal in life is to survive, then it's to procreate, and then it's to amass wealth, and eventually at the top, the whole self-actualization thing is where you get like fame and fortune and, you know, notoriety. Why are right-wingers dumb as shit? It's a good question. It depends on what you mean by dumb as shit. I mean, again, if it's a difference of opinion about where their priorities are, or if it's across the board, I think all right-wingers suck, I can't help you there. I do think in the right wings, if you want my opinion as somebody who is more conservative, I think the right wing tends to fracture off into so many subgroups that everyone ends up like obsessing about a certain thing. I think that doesn't help. So for example, I might be conservative in a way, more traditionally conservative by far than most people on the left would be, but am I going to go to the beach and freak out at some girl who's in a bikini? No. But I've seen videos of these guys that go to the beach and they start like filming themselves or having girls film them as they're like chastising the girls and what they're wearing on the beach. Why don't you just mind your own business? You know, I don't know. So to answer your question, I don't know. Because they're people, because they're human, because all people are dumb as shit, because all people suck, I guess. I mean, regardless of political ideology and where you identify, most human beings are dumb on some level. But yeah, I mean, this thing here is like, holy crap. See, try to remain close as a testament to my care and love for you. I'm sorry you feel these negative things. Bless you. Be well. I mean, he at least was trying to be nice about it. But yeah, the crazy thing is now that they are labeling him as a misogynist simply for asking for things that I think are reasonable. And look, maybe, again, it's missing context, it's missing nuance. There's reasons to expect certain things of your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. There's certain ways you could look at it and go, every relationship's going to be different. Different people are going to have different perspectives on modesty, on, you know, what's acceptable in a relationship, and you have to be able to make those decisions with your partner, with your spouse, with your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. You've got to be willing to make those decisions together. And if they don't line up, if they don't connect, fine, then you move on, you know, and that's exactly, I think, where he was at. I don't think it necessarily paints him as a misogynist because he's got different expectations than she does. I don't think that makes him a misogynist. I don't. But I remember Sydney Watson, who I know a lot of people on the right absolutely are coming unglued at because of the whole red pill thing, where she doesn't like line up with the whole red pill thing. And to be fair, she's more liberal than a traditional conservative from what I've seen. So I think she's like more like somewhere in the center. So here was her opinion on the whole thing, and I've got some interesting like thoughts on this because I don't a lot of what she says doesn't jive with me. So she went on to say, here's my unpopular opinion. Jonah Hill is likely a narcissist controlling partner. Narcissistic. And okay, before we get into anything else, there's a lot of narcissists out there. I don't think it matters if it's a man or a woman. I don't think it matters if it's an actor, a singer, somebody who works at McDonald's. Narcissists come in every shape and size. My mom has dated several of them, and they're not even what you would imagine to be the most like successful, good-looking, intelligent guys. A lot of them are completely the opposite. They're not successful. They don't have a whole lot going for them, and yet they think the world of themselves. So yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Just throwing that out there. It's easy to read the first message about boundaries and think, yes, this is reasonable. Because to normal people, these are reasonable expectations. If that's all that had been said, I'd fully agree. However, if you read all the messages, anyone who has been with a narcissist can see the signs of how they interact a mile away. Once you've experienced it, you know exactly what it looks like. Narcs are tremendous at using language against you. They play the victim, they make you feel utterly insane, and when they push you to the brink, they say, why are you upset? Look how reasonable I've been. Yeah, okay, so her premise is not wrong. If we're talking like clinically from like a psychological standpoint, the way that a narcissist would operate, she is completely correct about the language that they use, the tactics they use. Completely. Alright, so she goes on to say, but really, they've been tearing strips off you, questioning everything you do, isolating you, making you feel guilt for doing normal things. The messages exchanged remind me of a boyfriend I had many years ago. And see, I don't know. For me right there, that kind of makes me think about the fact that unfortunately a lot of people have dated really shitty people. And so anytime you're coming from your own bias, and we all do it, because nobody's objective, everybody has a past, everyone has a history. When you're coming at a situation and going, well, you know, I dated this guy who was just like this. Well, but you didn't date Jonah Hill. You don't, you know, you don't know him personally. None of us do. So to compare it to a previous relationship, I understand that that's lived experience and that that's all well and good. But to be fair, it's like you're comparing a guy that you've never dated and that none of us really know to a past boyfriend of yours to try to paint Jonah Hill as a narcissist. I don't know. I hate that perspective, I guess. Let's see. She said reminds her of a boyfriend she had who made her delete social media photos and cut off all her male friends, among other things. When you're young, you mistake the overbearing behavior for love and care. In reality, this person doesn't love you, and if they do, they only love the way controlling your life makes them feel. Now, again, cutting off people is not something that should be required to be in a relationship. If you date somebody and they have friends you don't like, and their friends are that important to them, you, again, just like a normal person, need to make that decision about whether or not you want to be in a relationship with that person if those are the kind of people that they hang out with. It's just like, you know, well, the reason parents try to parent their kids and have good friends and good kids around your kids, you want those good kids to rub off on your children. You don't want to have your kids around kids that are going to lead them down a bad path. So if you're dating a girl or dating a guy and their friends all suck, that's going to rub off on them. So maybe you should just not date that person in the first place rather than expecting them to cut off their friends once they start dating you. And I get it. There's the conversation to be had about whether or not guys and girls can be friends when they're in a relationship with somebody else and what level of friendship they can maintain. That's a whole nother ball of wax and a whole nother onion to peel. It gets kind of messy. You know, it's a very fine line that you have to walk when it comes to that kind of crap. It says, in reality, this person doesn't love you, and if they do, they only love the way controlling your life makes them feel. Being with them strips you of your personality because you're never sure that you'll do that. You're never sure what you'll do that will set them off. Your actions revolve around limiting their anger and outbursts. By the time you've had enough and decide to leave, a really clever narc will have convinced everyone that you're the lunatic. None of your anger will make sense to them because this person on the surface seems so nice and patient. And again, maybe it was true for her. Maybe it was true for a lot of people who have dated narcissists, but what the hell does this have to do with Jonah Hill? All she said was, read all the text messages, and by the way, I had this boyfriend who sucked. I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like, lady, you're making it about you when it had nothing to do with you. So yeah, boundaries are great. I think all relationships should have them, and I don't think shitty behavior is exclusive to one sex. Both can be absolutely awful. Very true. But it's unlikely Jonah Hill is some good guy simply setting boundaries with this girl. She might also be the problem, but I'll bet anything that he is too. And if you're someone who hasn't had the unfortunate experience of dating or marrying a narc, I hope you never have to go through it, but if you had, you'd know immediately why lots of us have made this assessment. Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing. I've been around these completely deranged, lunatic, narcissistic men that my mom has married and dated. So I'm looking at it objectively. I'm looking at it going, okay, I can look at that guy and go, he's a fucking lunatic. My mom could never do that because she was in love with them. So she allowed herself to actually fall for those people. And I'm not getting from the few text messages that were leaked that, oh my God, Jonah Hill's this narcissistic asshole. First, I mean, he's an actor. He's in Hollywood. Most of them are narcissists. So whether he is or isn't, it goes with the territory. I don't understand why people do this where they take their past trauma and they want to like lump it on other people. This is why guys, and if we want to talk about the reason that Andrew Tate's and the Pearl and all them exist and why they actually, you know, their grift works on some people, it's because of the fact that men allow, let me rephrase that. Women allow their past trauma, and men do too, but to women I think the emotional baggage is a lot harder on them. they allow like a bad boyfriend that they had in the past to basically project onto the next guy that they're dating. And it makes it so hard for a guy to not be looked at under the lens of, you know, a girl who had a bad relationship and she's like projecting all this crap she went through onto the next guy. And that's, I think, part of why girls end up with guys that are bad for them over and over again, because maybe they just repress it. And so they don't learn from where they had this bad experience. They either project it onto the good guy, and the good guy says, look, I can't put up with this. You're treating me like I'm this horrible person, and I'm not the guy you dated, and so I'm out of here. Sydney's take on this is why people don't trust her. I'm starting to see that, dude. Like, there's a lot of conservatives out there, a lot of the red pill community, which I'm not part of. I don't do the whole red pill thing. I'm sorry. It's just the Andrew Tates of the world, not for me. But there's a lot of people in that group that have been saying for months now that she's like, oh, she's a left-wing lunatic feminist. That's like, I don't think that. But I do think, unfortunately, she is allowing herself to be in a situation where she is projecting her own personal trauma onto a situation where she knows nothing about what's actually going on. And in doing so, makes her look like the thing that people are accusing her of being, which is nuts. Like, why would you willingly put yourself in that situation to make yourself the target of people's, like, vitriol, you know? And I'm not saying, like, don't take a stand or don't stand up for things that matter or don't be, you know, be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. This is literally, look, you're putting yourself under the gun when you don't need to be. It's completely needless. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like on one hand, she's going, oh yeah, boundaries are great. Well, duh. That's what any normal, healthy person in a relationship would tell you. You need to have healthy boundaries. Not just one person's boundaries. And somebody was saying, one of these girls, because it's always like the girls that are coming out going, oh my God, you can't put boundaries on a girl. You can't make us, boundaries are personal. You can't put boundaries on a relationship. It's like, no, boundaries are not personal. Your boundaries and whoever you're dating or marries boundaries intersect when you get together. Those boundaries become one, and you have to be with somebody where you guys can then make your boundaries together. It stops being personal the minute you become in a relationship with somebody. Your boundaries are what you have before you find somebody you fall in love with or start dating or commit to. Once you're together, you got to make your boundaries together. That's just the way a normal functioning relationship has to work. And I'm not saying that as somebody who has like the perfect relationship. I'm just saying it's common sense. That's the way human beings function, is you're in this together. That's where the people that do everything 50-50, where she has her money and he has his money, I'm like, it doesn't make sense because you are working together. That's like living together alone. But yeah, Sydney, I don't know what the hell she's been doing lately. Like even the Blaze lawsuit, where she was suing the Blaze over everything that happened with Elijah Schaefer and Jack Murphy and the sexual harassment or whatever. I can see it. I get it. I'm not disillusioned. This happens on every side of the political aisle. Happens with every person in every walk of life. Nobody's immune from it. There's every corporation, every business, every time you have more than 10 people in a room together, somebody's going to get sexually harassed at some point. It's just the way it goes. So her suing the Blaze, I had no problem with. And then, of course, people were pointing out in the legal letter, the actual suit that was being brought, that the verbiage that was used was like, oh, it's like left-wing talking points. It's left-wing dog whistles. It's like, guys, can we stop with the dog whistles? I'm so sick and tired of hearing about dog whistles. I can't anymore with the dog whistles. But it does make sense, like, that people started to get worried about her, where she was coming from. And this kind of stuff just makes it more curious, you know? I get it. I see it. I'm not completely on the, oh, Sydney Watson's an evil, grifting, left-wing feminist. But I definitely see where people are getting that opinion from. It's not a shock, let's be honest. But let's go ahead and finish up with what I had planned. We got to talk about this. This is This is something that I wish I could unsee, because honestly, it's an embarrassment. And it's, you know, we've had goofy ass presidents for years. Our world leaders have been a joke for a while. And not just the US, every freaking country. Hell, England's had some goofy ones. France has had some goofy ones. South America's had quite a few that are hilarious. But like, this whole thing, I think it was from today? Yesterday. Okay. The time zone is making it weird. So, some guy, buddy, Colin Rugg on Twitter points out that they had a little breach of protocol here. Very much like when Trump walked in front of the Queen before she passed. Biden had that same moment here with King Charles. And he points out, like, okay, so a confused Biden walks in front of King Charles during his visit to the UK. The media doesn't seem to have an issue with this. Let's see what they had to say when Trump walked in front of the Queen. And then he's got some quotes. So from CNN here, you had, Trump's walk with the Queen was like wandering up and down a golf course. Time magazine said that Trump committed a royal faux pas during his visit with the Queen. Yahoo said Trump made some major missteps when meeting the Queen. Slate said Trump meets Queen Elizabeth II at Windsor Castle, briefly forgets how to walk. I mean, that's kind of funny, but whatever. Global News, Trump breaks royal etiquette, walks in front of Queen, and Independent said Trump immediately breaches royal protocol twice after meeting the Queen. So, if you go search for any of those places, any of those same news outlets, they have nothing to say about this video right here. Hang on, let's go and restart it. That is really loud. I'm gonna turn that down. There we go. Let's go full screen. I know the picture's kind of blurry, but the look on Biden's face right here, it looks like he's in pain. Like, I'm not even kidding. They had that whole thing where he gets out of the car to go meet King Charles, and he basically like grabs a hold of his elbow and he's just tagging along the whole time. And now he looks like he crapped himself. The look on his face right here is absolute misery. I think this is where the video stops. Okay, yeah, so that one stops right there. Now, check this other one out. This is the one that I find absolutely hilarious. Oh, come on, refresh. Here we go. So he walks over. He just stands there and stares at the guy. And Charles is like, okay, time to move on. Time to go. Time to go. And then Biden turns back to this dude, and I want to know what the hell he said to him. Because the guard's head bobbed a little bit. I'm like, I thought these British royal guards weren't supposed to like even move their head. But Biden just turns back to him. He just says something. Oh yeah, dude. No, he walked in front of Charles the entire time. It wasn't like where Trump did that little shuffle step thing and he kind of lost sight of where the Queen was because, you know, she was so tiny. So if you look at, watch this one. He looks to his side because he thought she was going to be on his left, okay? Then she goes over to his right. She was moving to the left when he stood there. So, you know, kind of a sloppy, innocent mistake. All right, fine. Dumb mistake, whatever. He's a businessman. He's not a politician. But this Joker, I swear to God, I just can't even. It is the most miserable, pathetic thing to have to watch. Where's the video of let me see if I can find the video of Biden getting out of the car. King Charles. I know it was on Twitter. If I tweeted less, I'd be able to find it sooner. Oh, and also, what about this? Somebody pointed out that apparently, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think this was ever a thing. Look at the steps as he gets down about halfway. You see what that says there? Have we ever seen, at any point ever in history, Air Force One have a watch your step sign? Now, again, this is not part of the plane, okay? This is completely, it's you know, the stairs that they wheel away from the plane. So this is property of England, okay? Maybe it's an English thing, I don't know. But I've never noticed this before. It almost makes you feel like that they put that on there just for Joe, right? It's like they go, oh crap, we got the U.S. president coming. He falls down a lot of stairs. We can't have him kill himself in the UK. All right, put that big on there so when he goes walking up, he doesn't trip and kill himself. Makes me wonder if they have that going down as well, but you can't really see it. They probably had one like down on the floor at the very top right here. That wouldn't surprise me. But no, where's the video of I'm getting out of the car? Where is that at? Oh, yeah. Mr. Krathenstein. Brian, God. Going on about how the UK's confidence in the US has risen over the last 3 years. Really? Come on, man. He has to lead Biden around like a dog. Give me a break. Here we go. Yes, Charles is an old man too. So you got two old world leader, global elitists just, giving each other a handshake. But like, right here, he's not got his hand on Charles' back. He is literally clinging on for dear life here. It's just pathetic. It's pitiful. It's like, dude, he should be in a retirement home where he could sniff like people's grandkids that come visit. He has absolutely no business doing this. None. All right, let's end off with this one here, because this one is the funniest thing that's been trending on Twitter. This is great. I'm not sure if you saw this tweet or not, but this tweet is fantastic. Probably one of the best tweets I've seen in a long time. I want to know who these people are, because I'm sure they're all rich. I'm sure they have really good food, and I could use like an adoptive family, because this almost looks like Courtney Cox right here. Wait a second. Wait. That could be Jennifer Aniston. Yo, hang on a second. Is that freaking Jennifer Aniston? Oh no, I don't want to draw on it. Move the photo. How do we move the photo? Here we go. So this picture has been going around on Twitter because it's a whole group of white people sitting at a table together. And so everyone's freaking out like, where's the black people? Where's the diversity? And it's like, well, first off, who says that it's not like a family reunion or something? But this is even more hysterical because I swear to God, that's got to be Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox, right? Like, I'm not crazy. I thought maybe it was like from the group of them from the show Friends, but that could almost be the dude off of Parks and Recreation right there. Kind of looks like Amy Poehler's boyfriend on Parks and Rec. Can't remember his name. Not Adam Driver. That's the dude from Star Wars. Crap. But anyways, if that's Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston, that's really hilarious because they're both really lefty, woke Hollywood scumbags. So yeah, the tweet was, serious question for well-meaning white people. When you show up at a get-together like this, do you notice there are 0 black people or nah? If so, do you say or do anything about it? To who? Please be honest, this is a safe space unless you say something dumb or racist. Okay. So that was this dude's tweet. And apparently, the guy that did the tweet is a liar, okay? So apparently, back in 2017, this guy by the name of Jonathan Perkins, who tweeted this out, said the article said we now know much more about what happened to Jonathan Perkins back in 2011 than we did at the time, and it majorly changes. I can't see it. Okay, so in late April, and this would be back in 2011, Jonathan Perkins, a third-year law student at UVA, wrote a letter to the editor that was published in Virginia Law Weekly. I'm telling you, that's Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox. So they're using this picture of these like celebrities, these woke lefty weirdos that should be all inclusive and diverse because that's the message in Hollywood, right? That diversity is our strength, and they got this big ass row of white people. All right, so in April of 2011, Jonathan Perkins, third-year law student, wrote a letter to the editor that was published in Virginia Law Weekly, the law school's student newspaper. In his letter, Perkins claimed that he was harassed by UVA University police while walking home from a party, reportedly on account of his race, because he's African American. Perkins said he was moved to share the story because it is important for my classmates to hear a real-life anecdote illustrating the myth of equal protection under the law. Okay? On May 5th, after a thorough investigation into allegations that University of Virginia police officers had mistreated an African American law student, the individual acknowledged that his story had been a fabrication. Quote, I wrote the article to bring attention to the topic of police misconduct, he said in a written statement. The events in the article did not occur. So, if this was him trolling, if this was just this guy trolling, that would be fine. That would be funny, especially given that it's Jonathan Perk. Let's see. Here we go. Especially if he was trying to point out that it's like, you know, Hollywood and celebrities and stuff and how they all preach one thing but say another. But it's not a troll account. It is literally a racial activist. You know, and how do people think Meghan Markle is black? Can you all help me out with this one? Does anybody actually look at Meghan Markle as being black? I don't get it. All right. Yeah, this is not a troll account. This is a real dude, a real racial activist. Oh my god. Yeah, so the funny thing about Meghan Markle is I didn't know who she was. I didn't watch Suits, which I think is the only show that I would have known her from, so I never watched Suits. So, didn't see her in that. I didn't know her from anything else. Didn't pay too much attention to the royal family. Didn't know who everybody was married to. And then, you know, her and Harry got together, and all I heard about was how, oh, the royal family looks at her differently because she's black. And I'm like, she's not black. It's like if a, let's say like a woman with like Hispanic heritage, you know, maybe like a 50-50 white Caucasian Hispanic woman, went to the beach a few times or spent, you know, the summer outside and got, you know, really, really dark or whatever, it would look like he had a good tan. Like, that's what she looks like. She looks like well tanned. There's not even anything in like her facial features that resemble like a traditional, okay, like this woman right here. Okay. Meghan Markle. No. And not just because she's got a pretty face, but like she looks white. Okay. She has white facial structuring, white facial features. Oh my god. Yeah, now there's a rumor apparently that Harry and Meghan Markle are splitting up. I have no idea. Supposedly that's a thing. I would find it funny if they do. Because the thing about it is, you know, the fact that they got married in England and that he's a prince would tell me that there's not a chance in hell that she would get custody of those kids. And my god, people would freak out about. Oh, you had a friend who thought she was hot? She's not bad looking. She's pretty. Not like drop dead, like, oh my god, prettiest person I've ever seen. But, you know, she's attractive. It's kind of like I can look at Amber Heard or anybody else who I find despicable and still say objectively they're a good-looking person. Meghan Markle, Harry, of course. Let's see if there's anything trending about that. Let's go Sky News Australia, see what they have to say about it. Or if I've muted this. Alright, let's mute. Pull this up here. So it says, Meghan Markle divorcing Prince Harry would have no financial gain. No shit. Meghan Markle divorcing her husband Prince Harry would benefit in neither her fame or finances, as the real power of the Sussexes brand lies in them being together. Writer and broadcaster Esther Kraku argues. Meghan's team has warned her there's no future working with Prince Harry and she needs to go it alone if she wants to save her career, an insider claim. Oh my god, so they're saying it's somebody on her like publicity team that's telling her that? Oh man. The Duchess team reportedly advised her to focus on individual projects and establish her own career separate from brand Sussex. I don't think there's any benefit in terms of star power or financial gain for Meghan to not be with Harry, Miss Kraku told Sky News Australia. That was it? That's your whole article? Come on, guys. I could get paid for that. Someone got paid to... That was probably AI. I take it back. They probably didn't get paid. That was probably just AI that generated. There's absolutely nothing to it. Like, what the hell? All right, let's try to find a different article on it. That wasn't worth it. Come on. There was nothing to it. Let's try the Mirror. Funny, we have to use all these British sites. All right. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are very much in love amid divorce rumors, claims pal. All right, who's the pal? Carl Larson, who's a friend of Meghan's estranged father, Thomas Markle, has set the record straight. Wait. So a friend of her dad's who she doesn't talk to, and he didn't go to her wedding, as I recall, has set the record straight. Okay, I'm glad that he has all this information, seeing as he's friends with her dad who doesn't communicate with her. All right, cool. Taking to his Instagram story, the photographer, very reliable source, shared some snaps of the couple, the loved up couple. Is that a thing? Yeah, British people. What the hell, man? Alongside the pictures, he wrote, "So nice to see my friends Harry and Meghan on Friday before they got away for the long weekend. Please do not believe the media. They are very much in love and are happy together. Nothing but smiles and laughter here." Meghan and Harry tied the knot back in 2018 at Windsor Castle, having met on a blind date 2 years earlier. They seem to have gone from strength to strength throughout their romance and shared 2 children together, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. This is a nice fluff piece so far. The couple have recently been surrounded by speculation that they are stepping away from one another, with reports suggesting they are planning to forge separate career paths. In her first step towards a solo career, Meghan signed with the Hollywood talent agency William Morris Endeavor. The agency has represented major stars including Dwayne Johnson, Adele, and Serena Williams. Oh, Dwayne Johnson. There you go. That's exactly who I want. Okay, Dwayne Johnson is very rich, very famous. I'm not going to dispute that. But, really? Dwayne Johnson? I don't know. Despite rumors of a rift between the couple, Meghan is said to have her husband's full support with whatever she decides to do. Of course she does. She has the balls in their relationship. Come on. Meghan feels she'll have better success if she takes the time to work on projects alone without Harry, even though he always gives her his full support, a source told Bella magazine. The source also said Meghan's new deal is about making Meghan a power player in Hollywood in her own right. My God, there are no power players in Hollywood. There's literally nobody left in Hollywood with any notoriety. There's the old weirdos who are left, like the cringe 75-year-olds, like Harrison Ford and freaking Indiana Jones. There's the ones like who keep directing movies like James Cameron, who just needs to go freaking retire, like Steven Spielberg. You know, and then there's the nobodies replacing him. There's absolutely nobody with any notoriety left outside of like, you know, Tom Cruise and the whole Mission Impossible thing. There's no movie stars left. This is like the wrong time to be trying to like become a power player in Hollywood, lady. Oh man, that is so asinine. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry misunderstood their Spotify deal. That can't be new. Oh, from July 10th. Their butler claims that they misunderstood their deal. What is this about? Meghan Markle and Prince Harry misunderstood what was expected of them from their lucrative deal. Oh my God. Yeah, you were expected to work. Maybe that was the problem. Former butler Paul Burrell said that the douche and Duchess of Sussex have fallen short of everything that was expected after they decided against spilling any royal family gossip. Harry and Meghan stepped away from the streaming giant just 3 years after signing an exclusive $25 million deal in 2020. Oh, it's so sad. It really is over. It's pathetic. You You know, for a while, I was thinking social media was kind of a good thing because people started losing their awe and wonder of celebrities, which is good in my opinion. I don't think people should worship celebrities. I don't think they should be like holding them up on some sort of pedestal or like following their everyday lives and being obsessed with their every move and shit. Because this is what happens. You have people that do this kind of crap. You have a woman who's a B-list actress in Hollywood marry the freaking Prince of England, and then everything becomes about, you know, their personal, oh, they didn't like me because I was, you know, too light brown. I don't know. It's just, it does things to people. So I thought initially that social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the being able to get replies back from celebrities and stuff was going to make it easier for people to see them as normal human beings and less like gods, you know? But unfortunately, I think it's created the opposite effect because now you have people like clinging on every word that a celebrity says on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever. And you got like the Swifties. So despite the fact that there's no star power left in Hollywood, people are still as obsessed with celebrities as ever. It's just that the celebrities are not as meaningful. Like the celebrity status is easier to achieve. I mean, you got YouTubers, you got people that have shows or that create videos on YouTube that have bigger audiences than half the people in Hollywood. You have people who couldn't get a recording contract 20 years ago, but they make money playing music on YouTube, like writing songs and performing their own original music. So it just depends. It's I do believe though that star power as a like name notoriety does not equate star power anymore in Hollywood. I don't think the name matters. I think people just fill the role. I don't think anybody has anything unique about them anymore. Those guys, those things are going into the past. They're going to be a thing of yesterday, never to come back probably. So yeah, they stepped away from the streaming giant just 3 years after signing their deal. Their Spotify podcast saw Megan speak to a number of guests, including Serena Williams and Paris Hilton. Oof, sign me up for that. Through their partnership with Spotify, Meghan and Harry wanted to build community and share powerful narratives which showed universal values. Boring. Speaking about the announcement that they would be ending the partnership, Paul said, I think that the statement by Spotify was to save face, actually. I think it was a very diplomatic statement. Obviously, Spotify was a money-making exercise as much as Netflix was, and I think that Harry and Meghan both misunderstood what was expected of them. Of course, both Spotify and Netflix wanted royal content. After all, that's what they're famous for. Ding, 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 there you go. Speaking on behalf of Slingo, Paul added, both Netflix and Spotify signed up for that content for their story, for their experience with the royal family, and sadly, I think it's been shortcoming. He suggested Meghan and Harry needed to reinvent themselves to secure future brand partnerships. Paul also said they should focus on continuing their charity work. Okay. Princess Diana always said the price you pay for this wonderful lifestyle is public service and you have to give something back. Where is Harry and Meghan's public service? They both have a great platform they could use for this. Maybe they will. I hope they will. Hey, maybe Meghan and Harry could support Sound of Freedom. Eh? I mean, maybe they could do that. Think about it. That'd be like a win-win. You've got like the crazy right-wing QAnon Sound of Freedom movie, and you got the, I'd say left-wing based on the way she's acted, you know, actress. Come together, meet in the middle, support the cause, donate some money to end child trafficking, and support the movie. Bam. Honestly, if she came out and endorsed the movie, she might actually get some people on her side. I don't know. Just saying. Might get some goodwill. Speaking about their future work, Paul said he believes Meghan will eventually go into beauty and fashion. Ah, yes. Yes, the thing that's easy to do if you're already famous. Oh, he said, I've always said that, and I can see a bottle of Meghan on someone's dressing table or perhaps Duchess. Why wouldn't someone want to take a risk with that and create something for Meghan then that would give her a foothold and a platform to launch herself into fashion? Paul added, I think it's another platform which can give her an opportunity to grow tentacles into different arenas, and I've always said that it's just a rung on the ladder. She's climbing the ladder, she will eventually climb to the top of that ladder. I swear to God, he's being nice about it, I'll say that. Clearly, he's not an ex-butler because he had any problems with them. He's trying to give them legitimate advice, which I can respect. I can respect the fact that he's trying to say, well, I don't think they quite understood what they signed on for, but my God. This whole thing is a mess. Honestly, this kind of situation, the racial divide that we have, that, you know, the media and Hollywood and yes, politics, that all plays into it. It's just making such a mess of everything. It's got it to where right now it's like you have those damn tweets like this guy here, where it's like, you know, oh, you know, all you white people getting together. It's like, what if it was all black people? Nobody would say any problem. I mean, literally, this guy that I follow on Twitter who shared this, he went on to say, basically, like, what if it was at a barbershop? What if it was all a bunch of black people at a barbershop? What would you say then? Like, would you still have a problem with it? What would be the issue? What if it was all Asians? What if it was a big Asian get-together? Nobody would say anything. But this is where we are. We're so splintered and fractured over stuff like this. Although I do find it funny. I am positive that's Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox. That is too funny. But yeah, it just makes it worse. It makes it messier. Makes everything in life more chaotic and hellish, unfortunately. And Andrew Tate is trending, and I hate that. I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look. I'm not doing it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get off of here, hit the hay. I need to get a good night's sleep. It's been a rough week. I've had dental surgery and I've got an infection in my jaw, and it's just been one thing after another. But appreciate you guys hanging. I'm gonna try to get back to do more live streams like this. I know that the sitting and playing a video game for an hour and a half doesn't entertain people that much. I want to get back to actually doing commentating on this kind of stuff. It's more interesting for me and for you guys. So, again, thanks for being here. I am going to hit the hay.